This place looks like a postcard for tropical Fiji.
Today here.
Yeah, it's today here.
It's today here.
It's your birthday.
No way. It's your birthday today?
It's today
Happy
here.
birthday,
How old
man.
are you now?
45.
Fortunately, at this point in my life, I have been afforded the opportunity to travel and see all these places.
Sure is beautiful. Look at all that blue water out there with the reef protecting it.
Here I am in Fiji, one of the most beautiful places on earth. I mean, I couldn't be in a better place to check off a lot of these species that I've wanted to check off on my bucket list.
You do a backflip off that?
Oi!
My name is Ali Hussainy. I grew up in Southern California and now operate one of the largest sport fishing websites in the world. Just another day at the office.
My office, not yours.
I'm Rush Maltz,
I got you. What you seeing?
Florida Keys native and career fishing guide for the past 20 years.
Fish, when I come out to California, you can let me catch all the 300-pound tunas.
Our passion is our profession, and we know there's more to fishing than just the catch.
There's a good mark right there. That's what I like to see.
That's the one. He's not superstitious because that's bad luck. Woo! All right, get with him. Come with him.
We explore the people, places, and species that make up the culture of fishing.
So this here is not like I wouldn't say it's a super tight bait ball, but you can see it's active because it's been pushed up. For me personally, I had an amazing experience with these guys with the tuna fishery. So what's happening is we've got the top side here, it's like 25 meters, but there was a fishery here that they haven't had much experience in, and it's probably one of my favorite styles of fishing, and that's hunting bait balls and dropping jigs and bait, you know, like in the shallower waters around Fiji. Well, the list will go on. There's so many different species that you could produce right now, all the way from, you know, like prize stuff from a dogtooth tuna to all kinds of different snappers and stuff like that. So a beautiful thing about here in Fiji is that we have such a huge amount of species that you can target that all, you know, react differently, but to sort of similar styles of fishing. So we'll do a very, you know, mixed selection of jigging styles, because some react to them when they're super erratic, and then some of them like, you know, like a real sort of slow, more like soft plastic technique, you know, where you're just kind of fluttering it.
You have offshore fishing, you have inshore fishing. The inshore fishing here in Fiji, it's not what you'd expect. It's not flats fishing. Basically, you're fishing on shallow reefs, doing a lot of jigging and popping.
Yeah, okay, so some good fish marking fair way up the water column, so I'd go this one erratic and bring it like 3/4 of the way up.
Ben had an area of a large, I don't want to call it a patch reef, but you know, it's reef with some blue holes in it, which that's where you're going to find these fish. There it is. Yep. It's not moving at all, is that doggy?
No.
There. That's not that big.
Yeah, nice snapper. This is an iron jaw. These are like one of our best eating fish. There's a whole fishery based around these things, and they're probably in my top 5 in terms of eating quality. They're amazing fish. They get really big, and they obviously love a jig.
So there's 2 real different ways to target these reef fish. One is to surface fish them.
I'd keep going with what you got for a little bit.
The little one?
Now the other way to catch these reef species is to kind of go off the edge of the reef in some of the deeper spots and target them with a variety of metal lures. Yeah, I like this kind of fishing.
Oh, I love it.
The reel stopping, not knowing what's there. There you go.
Got some weight?
Nah, nothing crazy. Kind of mid-water, like, I don't know. If I were to guess at home, like some kind of bonita or something.
Oh, nice. Another really nice iron jaw. These are like epic eating size.
So pretty. Look at the skin, like a silky snapper kind of skin.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Love these things. Good job, man.
Jigging for me is a very popular fishery back home. It's a technique we use often, deep jigging, moving that jig around.
Right on the bottom. Not big. Bounced it once and something jumped on it.
Oh, coronation. So this is kind of like the brother or sister of the common coral trout. And these here, I reckon, would be probably one or two of the best eating fish you'd ever get around these parts.
So you brought us here to catch you dinner, pretty
Yeah.
much? Perfect.
This is my dinner session. And if you guys do good, then I might take you and get you a doggy.
You know, our mission now is shifted. We've got the best of the offshore. It's time to go inshore and do some of that reef fishing.
Good weight?
Grocery shopping. Is that a mackerel of sorts?
Some bait for us today, yep.
That looks like a marlin bait right there.
We need some of those for the day.
A reef is not a reef. There are certain reefs that bite better on different tides.
Beautiful.
So this one's a scad mackerel, and it's probably our most prolific bait here.
Typically what you're looking for here is gonna be that water that's 5 to 35, 40 feet deep.
Stoked to get one of these on board.
Pretty fished.
And that's where you're gonna find those GTs, the Spanish Max, and all the other awesome fish that are available here.
Local knowledge is brought to you by Evinrude, Penn, let the battle begin. Yeti, built for the wild. Seakeeper, once you feel it, you'll never boat without it. Seagar, the inventor and perfecter of fluorocarbon fishing lines. Bubba, the ultimate lifestyle. Nomad Design, crafted by experience. And by bdoutdoors.com.
There he is.
There you go.
He ate it when I stopped it.
So better fish, eh?
A little better.
Yeah.
What we're using over here is a lot of knife jigs, a lot of flutter jigs. Basically what they are is solid lead.
Still some good marks
Get
down
'em.
there.
Oh!
Oh, no. Just pull the hooks?
You're dropping it down. On the way down, it's fluttering. On the way up, you're working it in the same direction. You're varying speeds, you're stopping it sometimes, you're trying anything to entice that bite.
Nice. Weight?
Yeah, but I don't think it's gonna spool me.
I love jigging. Just every time it's different. Oh, nice iron jaw. Yeah, boys. That's about a size one.
In this case, we're using the buffalo jigs and the streaker jigs. The buffalo jig is meant to kind of flutter, fall down, and it mimics a bait fish that's wounded falling to the bottom of the ocean. And we have not found a fish yet that doesn't like to eat those things. Oh!
There you go. Tell me if you need me.
No, he's not pulling drag yet. It's right here. It's under the boat. Now it's really under the boat. Big mackerel?
I think you're in me.
Oh, it's a nice rainbow runner.
Oh,
Sick.
man, he pulled like hell for a rainbow runner.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, that's a big old
Nice.
rainbow runner.
Oh, man.
Yeah, these are good fish. We eat these
I've
here as
never
well.
had a rainbow runner pull like that.
Yeah.
He's pulling
they
drag.
pull hard. When they get big like that, they pull hard.
These are actually really good eating and probably one of the best dogtooth tuna baits. We're gonna keep this one and take it back to the kitchen and maybe have some sashimi out of it there.
That sounds great.
Yeah, really good eating. So what I was teaching those guys in terms of the jigging was that you can do some really erratic fast jigging, or you can do some slow, more flutter jigging, and a combination of both. And depending on what you're doing on the bait, you know, that we're working, or the ledge that we're working, is going to really determine the species of fish that you get.
How deep here?
60 meters to 40 meters. So depending whether you go down the side of the ledge or... I think we had, you know, like one session where it was almost like every other fish was a different species, and we went through about 10 to 15 different species. And you just never know, and that's probably the best thing about this style of fishing. You just don't know what you're going to bring to the top.
We call it grab bag fishing.
Oh, nice trout. Okay, bring him over, we'll get him in the net. Beautiful. Woo.
See how pretty that fish
They're
is.
awesome.
It's a beautiful coral trout. I mean, people know these fish all around the world. One of the best eating fish and really fun to target. And it's a good way to start the session at
Look,
this new spot.
show Rush now. Look, Rush, he's all barred up. And he wasn't when he came out of the water.
Really cool to see how those different species reacted to different methods, and also these guys catching some of those fish for the first time.
Right off the bottom. Grouper or something.
Going to keep you out off the reef here. Oh, nice bluefin trevally. Nice,
Very
man.
cool.
Good job.
Now, is this a cousin to the GT, or?
Yeah, same family and just really prolific around here. I mean, the iridescent blue on these things just make them look like one of the most incredible fish you've ever seen, especially if you're snorkeling when you see that blue in the water.
Such a beautiful fish. Look at the color on that tail. That's unbelievable.
They pull so hard for how small they are. We're coming here and we're gonna be prepared for everything that's gonna give us a bite from 200 feet of water or 300 feet of water all the way up to the surface with a popper or a stick bait. Feels like a trout, like a grouper.
Yeah. There's definitely some activity on it.
Called my shot. Common one?
Yep, common one.
Unfortunately, I had to miss out on the Nomad trip. So this trip for me was a little bit of redemption.
What's your prediction?
You know, I really have no idea. Snapper?
Oh, nice.
Looks like a giant mangrove
Yeah, it's
snapper.
a big jack.
And just seeing all those fish and all those different species that Ali had the opportunity to catch.
Oh my God, this is sick. Mangrove jack.
Mangrove jack,
Yeah.
we call it mangrove snapper.
Epic fish, man.
That's awesome.
That's a really good one.
I gotta say, I was a little envious, you know.
Good job, man. That is a really good fish.
It looks like a parga.
too far out there.
It's such a cool, it looks just like a mangrove snapper, just red.
Yeah, man, that's a really good fish.
But this trip was gonna be redemption for me. That is an awesome fish, man.
You know, each day we'd go out with a bit of a plan and always end up doing something different.
Looks like a good one there, huh?
Yeah, I'm thinking a trout.
I'm hoping a trout.
Slowed way down.
So I'll move through spots, I'll try different types of fisheries and see what's going on. And by reading the conditions, you know, the tides and all the little intricate details within will help me decide on what we're gonna do. Yes.
Nice. This was one of the coolest fish that I caught when I was here before. Come on, buddy.
He engulfed that strip, didn't he?
Oh, I mean, hello. Dude, this was one of my favorite fish that I caught when I was fishing with Damon. It's
You
just,
get them on stick bait and hoppers and
yeah,
stuff
all
as well.
top water.
Deep,
all
top water, they're just amazing.
Dude, they're so cool. Well, let's go ahead and let this guy go. We got plenty of meat in the box, yeah? Later, dude. Such a cool fish.
Good job, man.
Thank you.
Once again, you know, Ben knows if one thing's not working so well, if they're not biting on one thing, it's time to try something else. When the jig bite slowed down a little bit, Ben recommended that we try some cut baits on one of the rods.
That's not a trigger. I can't even turn the handle. Felt like I was wrapped up. Maybe I was wrapped up in the fish.
Hopefully he's a big trout, eh?
Big snapper or grouper. Yeah. There we go.
What is it? That's the question. That's the best part
It's
about
either
this style
a
of
grouper or a snapper. I just hope it's a long tom. Still fighting coming up.
fishing. Could be trout.
There he is.
It is.
Oh, nice
Oh,
one.
no.
Get the
That's a
net.
pretty grouper. Look at that
Man,
thing.
he fought all the way to the top.
Pretty good, eh?
What's that? What kind is that?
Spotted grouper.
Spotted grouper. So same as the other one.
Yep, just a better version.
Me and Rush both love groupers. Oh,
Look
they're
at
the
the
coolest.
coloration on that thing. One of the things I always preach, you have to take what the ocean gives you. You just can't force things.
So, you know, coming here, you do have certain preconceived notions as much as you try not to have those going on a trip. But I mean, if you look at anything in the South Pacific, first fish is GT. They're freaking everywhere. And you're thinking GT here probably? You know, the next one that comes to my mind is a dogtooth tuna. When you're gonna come out and you're gonna read about this place, those are the names that are gonna keep coming up. It would almost be hard to come here and not catch those fish unless you're from local knowledge. This is gonna be a long day. My arms are like jello already.
We tried to top water for GTs, which I would say is one of the most guaranteed things here. But even that fishery will shut down.
You have to be ready to change. You have to be open-minded out there. And a lot of times, just by being open-minded, what could start out as a total disaster could end up as one of the greatest days of fishing you've ever had.
But what's beautiful about down here and how we fish is that we're always ready to mix it up. So if you go out to try and cast topwater for GTs and it isn't happening, we're going to try something else, and we're just going to keep trying things until we find something that is working.
There? Yeah, one. There we go, Rutchie. You want full drag him?
Local knowledge is brought to you by CV Boats. Lead the way. Costa. See what's out there. Mustad. The standard in saltwater. AFTCO. Any fish, any water. Sea Deck. Your boat deserves Sea Deck. JL Audio. How we play. Casa Vieja Lodge. Experience 5-star angling in tropical Guatemala. The Saltwater Angler, Key West. And by Taco Marine.
I got him stopped.
You want me to clear this one, Ben?
Yep, clear that one. One thing's for certain is that nothing in life's guaranteed. With what we do in the water, the ocean dictates, right? So whether there's surf or whether the fish are biting, you just never know. Once I get him out off the ledge and we're in clean water, then you know, we'll be safe to sort of fight the fish. I consider myself a bit of a specialist in terms of catching dogtooth tuna.
I got him stopped.
If it's a dog, it's a small one.
Are you getting some good head shakes?
No.
Purely because I've spent 15 years trying to catch them because I've been in such awe of this species.
Might be a mackerel.
Wouldn't a mackerel be more erratic though?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, it acted just like you guys said a doggy would do.
Yeah. He pulled some string in the beginning, eh?
Now he's just dead, you know, dead weight.
And they're so hard to target, they're so hard to hook up, and they're even harder to get to the boat. Okay, so you're up on surface now, yeah?
Yeah. What is it, shark?
And so on this trip, we tried to target them a few times in between the other stuff that we were doing, and we're mostly doing that with jigging and down rigging. No? Oh, no way. This is a good fish, boys.
Oh, wow.
This is an epic fish. However, this trip, the times that we tried, I didn't really see the bait that I was looking for, and we didn't even really have the opportunity that I was hoping for.
Another long-nosed emperor, but a giant one.
It looked like a nurse shark on the surface back there. The real target with the downrigger for us was the dogtooth tuna. He smoked some line, I'll tell you that. But that doesn't mean there's other species that won't come and attack these baits. You know, we're always welcome to bycatch.
Oh, it's a coral trout.
Oh my God.
You want to grab them? Let's just grab them and not gaff them, huh?
Like Rush caught the biggest coral trout I've personally ever caught on one of my trips.
He is an amazing fish.
Wow.
Who said that?
Is
Coral trout
I've always
snapping
seen
his bait.
pictures of them that big.
Is that a big one?
That is a big one.
man.
You know, now that we've wrapped up our fishing part of the trip, I kind of always like to look back and sort of take stock.
Oh yeah, boys.
Look at that.
Nicely done.
Look at that.
Wow.
Oh, dude, that is like unfreaking believable.
You can tell how amazing this fishery is by the fact that we didn't catch the prime characters.
Like,
That
you may
is-
never get one that big ever again.
That is
It's so good.
unfreaking believable.
We caught hundreds of them and didn't get one half that size. How the hell do you go halfway across the world, not catch what you're after, and still have an epic trip? We caught one of the biggest tunas ever landed in this area.
Oh my God, I'm so stoked right now. Coming from a place where I do so much grouper fishing and only seeing pictures of these fish.
Wow. We caught the biggest coral trout ever caught at this lodge. And
That's what's the beauty about downrigging around here. The bycatch is insane. All the different stuff.
wow, that is a massive trout. Be ready for anything, be flexible, and good stuff's gonna happen, and you're gonna have an awesome trip.
Ben, thank you so much, buddy. This is truly a trip of a lifetime. I mean, unbelievable. From tuna to reef fishing, I mean, we've done it all.
Yeah, man, that is a trophy fish right there. It's probably the biggest one I've seen
Here, the biggest one I've actually caught is 13.9 kg, so we'll see, but that is just an amazing fish, and I'm so stoked to put you guys on some cool fish like this.
Looking back on my trip, my experience over here in Fiji, it really, really was everything I expected and so much more.
One of the things that was really cool is the resort has got a deep appreciation for the people who make this place possible. And, you know, on Fijian night, they basically turned the lodge over to the locals, you know, did a cultural ceremony that revolves around the kava drinking and all that, got to listen to some native music, saw some dance. It just kind of, you know, embeds you in the culture a little bit more, helps you learn about this place and, you know, share it with others.
From the people, from the fishing, from the environment, it is one of the most spectacular places on earth. Words really can't put into perspective what Fiji's about and what you see over here.